Hey, this is Carlo of 4GQ TV here at WonderCon, and I'm here with
Greg Weisman.
Greg. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm probably best known as the creator of Gargoyles, but I've also done uh, Spectacular Spider-Man, Star Wars Rebels, Young Justice, and probably 20 more shows. I've also been a comic book writer, written Captain Atom, Star Wars Kanan, Gargoyles I'm doing right now. I'm also writing the Spectacular Spider-Man for Marvel right now. And again, that just scratches the surface of, I'm old, so I've done a lot of shit.
Hey, that's all right. So I think when I read on a little bit about you, it's something about Batman the animated series.
No, I didn't work on that at all.
Oh, they got that wrong on the internet.
I worked on a little bit as a freelancer on the Batman, um, but not Batman the Animated Series. I was over at Disney doing Gargoyles at the time.
Okay. Well, the internet got that wrong. Sorry, everybody. So when it came to Gargoyles, did you? I know that Disney is the one that published it. So did you have any issues with the storyline? Did you have to take anything back, or was it just like complete creative control for you?
Uh, I wouldn't say 100%, but I'd say about 95% creative control. I think that because I'd been an executive at Disney before I became a producer on Gargoyles, I was sort of trusted to oversee the show more than a typical producer might have been. And my bosses were kind of busy on some other shows that were, for various reasons, in crisis. And so we got left alone to a great extent. There were little things that we wanted to do here and there that we weren't able to do. But for the most part, Frank and I got to do pretty much everything we wanted to do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean that is amazing. Um, so with Gargoyles, what made you decide to go ahead and say I want to do this?
Well, I created I came up with the idea for the show in '91. It took us 2 years to sell it to Michael Eisner. We had to pitch it to him 3 times before he finally said yes. And so, it became sort of a passion project for me. They brought Frank Parr on to produce it, but it took them a while to find Frank and to steal him away from Batman the Animated Series. So there is a connection there. Because Frank had been working on that, but we had deadlines, and so I began to make these decisions, which as a development executive I didn't usually make. Usually I would hand the show off, and this time I was making those decisions so that when Frank came aboard, by that time I was so entrenched in the show, both mostly emotionally, that I'm like, I created this. I don't want to let it go. I want to produce this with Frank. And so Frank and I were producers and showrunners together on the show. But I was just very invested in it. And to me, it was a really unique property, and with a great cast of characters, great cast of actors playing those characters, phenomenal artistic team, a phenomenal writing team. It was a truly unique experience in my career. I use career in quotes, such as it is.
It's a big career.
It's a long time, and it's a body of work I'm very proud of. It doesn't really fit a model of what people think of as a career, but that's a whole other story.
So comic books, Gargoyles. How did that happen?
Which time?
Both,
Most recent?
both times.
Back in 2006 or 7, a couple partners and I got together, and we went to Disney and said we'd like to license Gargoyles and make the comic. And we said, we don't have a lot of money to put up, but we're willing to give you the lion's share of the money that comes in. And they said, no. They said, you guys have no track record. I said, well, I worked at DC Comics for years. I've been an editor. They're like, you have no track record as publishers. We'd charge you more for the license because you could mess it up and we'd be stuck with you. So, but they liked our pitch creatively, so they hooked us up with a company called SLG, which had a Disney license for other properties like Alice in Wonderland and Haunted Mansion and Tron. And we became SLG's top-selling book for a few years. And then SLG lost the license. And then Marvel was purchased by Disney, and Disney's like, well, we've already owned a comic book company. Why would we give the license to anyone else? Then later, Marvel had no interest in publishing Gargoyles, so it became moot, but it was too late. So that ended that back in the aughts. And then just a year and a half ago, Dynamite got a master's Disney license of some kind. I'm not entirely clear what they're allowed to publish and what they're not, because they're publishing all sorts of stuff. Scar and Cruella de Vil and Darkwing Duck. But one of the things they wanted to do was publish Gargoyles, and I was really gratified when my editor, Nate Cosby, contacted me and said, hey, do you want to write this? And I'm like, yeah, for sure. And we became Dynamite's best-selling title. The first issue of Gargoyles had a print run of 200,000, which for Dynamite was huge. And we're consistently one of their top-selling titles. And so we've done 12 issues of Gargoyles, 6 issues of Gargoyles Dark Ages, which is a prequel series. We did a Halloween special. And next month we launch a 5-issue miniseries called Gargoyles Quest, which is all about our villain Demona, trying to take over the world. The villains do.
Well, that sounds cool because I like villain stories.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Juggernaut, so he's the best character in the whole Marvel universe. I just wanted to put that out there. I love villains.
That's fine.
Can you tell us of any secret Easter eggs that you put in Gargoyles that nobody else has found out yet?
I don't know if I can tell you something that nobody has found out yet. I mean, because, it's been 30 years. I've been answering questions for a long time. But I mean, just as an example, we had these 3 characters, the Hunters, who were a brother, older brother, middle sister, younger brother. And my family is older brother, middle sister, younger brother. And so I named the sister Robin, that is my sister's name, and I named the younger brother John, which is my younger brother's name. So it's a little Easter egg for my brother and sister that doesn't matter much to anybody else. They're just their first names, but it's a little something.
That's pretty cool. Well, and I have 2 more questions for you, real quick. Comic books. Do you have a favorite character out of the whole DC or Marvel?
Black Canary.
Black Canary. Any reason?
She's just super cool. I mean, I had a huge crush on her when I was a teenager. But if you go back to her origins, she was a hero posing as a crime boss, going undercover, and she's a badass. No superpowers originally. Canary Cry's great. I'm all for it. But when she started out, she was just, martial artist, badass, and smart and beautiful. And so, yeah, I'm a huge Black Canary fan.
That's awesome. Last question. It's an icebreaker question. And it's something.
So you're doing it last?
Yeah, that's our routine. We do it last. But it's something that maybe you guys don't get asked a lot, and kind of, makes it more interesting. Pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
I'm not. I know a lot of people have really strong viewpoints, yes or no, on that, and I'm somewhere honestly in the middle. Like, I'll eat it. It wouldn't be my first call, but I'm not sitting there going, oh, get that away from me. I can deal with it.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Talking to us.
Appreciate
And
it.
enjoy the rest of your convention.
Thanks. You too. Thanks.